Hey everyone, this is John Bowie. Last year I wrote a book called Navigating the Politics of UX, Strategies and Stories from 40 Years in the Trenches. So as we start the countdown toward the 24 Hours of the UX conference coming up May 3rd, thought it'd be useful to look back and see how far we've come from in the UX profession from way back in the 1940s up until the present day. So this is a part of a presentation that I developed about 10 years ago that covered some of the major milestones in the UX timeline. Moving forward, Microsoft came out with Windows 3.0. By the way, about this time, that's when I got involved in UX. I wasn't involved in the 1940s, but in 1982, I started working at HP and I started designing some of their products, mainly because all the engineers at the company didn't want to do it. So I raised my hand and says, "Hey, I'll design it." And I started to do that and started to do some research at that time as well. So anyway, if we move forward to the 1990s, Microsoft decided that we really need to take the next step in simplifying the user experience. So they came out with a really interesting attempt called Microsoft Bob. And so here we see a skeuomorphic interface on steroids. They thought if they could simulate the real world for people, that it would make the computer easier to use and they wouldn't have to use all those manuals. But of course, it didn't work out quite the way Microsoft had hoped. But usability engineering was involved in making that happen. Moving forward even more into the 2000s, that's when user experience design really started to take hold. Don Norman had actually coined the term back in the early 1990s, but companies weren't necessarily hiring a lot of people at that point to actually try to design systems from the user perspective. But in the 2000s, things had started to take off.